Kacey. I just want to welcome you to my channel. As you can tell, I have a December calendar in front of me. So what in the world are we going to talk about today? Well, I am glad you asked. We are going to go over my December budget. But before we get into that, I would ask that you would please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted to whenever I post new videos. I'm hoping to create a space for women to learn about budgeting, planning, and maybe some lifestyle tips and tricks here and there. Let's talk about what's in front of me. I have the 2019 Budget Mom printables. They are available on her website, and I will put a link in the description box below. I got these last January when they came out, and I've really enjoyed using them. Now, let's be honest, I didn't use them all the time or all year. However, the few months in which I did use them, I really have enjoyed her system of budgeting, and I'm excited to jump in with y'all in December. Now, just a little bit about us. We are a family of two humans, 3 cats. My husband and I moved to Nashville in October. We are currently a 1-income family. This month, luckily enough, we had some extra income from the sale of our house in Texas. All right, so now that all of our logistics are out of the way, let's kind of talk about what I'm hoping to do, what we're going to see today, and kind of the process to go through it. You'll notice down here I have 3 different highlighters marked, and that's because I'm going to use Kamika's, that's the Budget Mom. I'm going to use her highlighter method this month, and just to see how it works out for us. So I'm going to put the paychecks down here of what month or what paycheck will go with each color. Okay, and this will come into play as we get in here, get everything written out, and get everything planned out for the month. So we have normal bills, but my husband will get paid 3 times this month. He is a disabled vet, so we do have VA income, and then we have his normal income. Because his VA check is the smaller amount, I generally don't transfer that money over until payday. And I'll show y'all what that means in a minute. But first, I want to go ahead and get our bills just written in here. So let me get this written up, and I'll be right back with you. All right, now that I have all the bills in there, let's pull out our first color. So I'm going to pull out my orange midliner, and I'm going to highlight all the bills that I have paid for out of our last check in November. So out of my 11/27 check, we paid rent, utilities, our alarm system, 3 subscriptions, 4 subscriptions, and our phone bill. Okay, so these bills were paid for with my last check, with our last check in November. So now I'm going to pull out my blue midliner, And I'm gonna box. You can circle, you can box, you can do whatever. The paychecks. And then I'm gonna highlight the items which I am paying for with check number 1, which, as you can see, I'm going to pull our VA money and his paycheck. I'm going to pull out cash, and I'm going to pay quite a few of our bills. And then I am going to color or just highlight the last paycheck. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put first, second, third, fourth. I'm gonna pull this, bring this out, and I'll just make it, we'll make it a little distinct. Because in January, and I didn't print out my January calendar yet, we'll have rent, utilities, okay, so we have partial rent, utilities, Simply Safe. Hey y'all, I'm just gonna pop in real quick and update you with what's going on in this part of our budget. Kacey at 1 o'clock in the morning wasn't quite sure what was happening. Now you'll see I've added a few items to the January budget. Some of them are going to be colored green, which is going to be paid for by the December 25th paycheck. However, a few of them are actually getting paid by our December 11th paycheck. So let's pop on back into the video. So these are the utilities, the bills I'm paying with our last check of the month. But you see I'm bringing out my blue again because I have 4 bills on my first check that I am paying for. I'm just gonna have that money sitting in my bill account ready for it to be taken out once they come due, okay? I know that's a little confusing, but once I do the budget breakdown, you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, but before I get into that, I wanna go over my goals this month. My husband and I, we have 4 goals as we are getting back into budgeting and being a little more on top of our bills and what's coming in and what's going out. We came up with 4 goals that we want to focus specifically on this month. We're going to use cash. We're going to spend less. We're going to spend less on food, meaning eating out and groceries. And we're going to get prepared for 2021. And a personal goal is I want to get a job this month. That's what I'm hoping happens, so that as we go into January, then we'll be a 2-income family again, and we can start working on our debt snowball, okay? But that's something that in future videos, as we get closer to the first of the year, or maybe even around the first or second of the year, I will go over with y'all what that looks like. Okay, jumping right on in. This is our Paycheck 1 tracker, and I will go ahead and get this filled out. I'll put in our income, I'll write in all of our bills, our cash envelopes, any savings that we get to do this month, okay? So let me go ahead and get this in, and then we'll talk numbers. now that I'm back, you know, some things have changed on here. First of all, I have written out our income, and we've got some account balance from November. We're going to end up using just a little bit of this month to just help cushion things out a little bit. My bills total should be $12.12. Income is $35.35. Okay, so minus $12.12. This is 2681. Let me go ahead and put in our cash envelopes. Total left over 2681. Fuel 130. Travel is $550. Groceries $320. Eating out is $100. Household $30. $55. $150. $135. So $1470 minus $2681. That leaves us with $1211. So we're gonna pull this over here. $1211 minus $873 is $338. Cushion. I'm gonna minus that, and I'm gonna give us a zero-based budget. Okay. I can go ahead and I know what my actual totals are as of filming this. So I am going to go ahead, get those entered, and get everything calculated out, and I will be right back with y'all. All right, so let's look at what we have. Because y'all are probably going, what in the world happened to that $671? Well, we got this house income between November and when we get paid here. This is why we do a budget, so that we know what's going on with our money. We did not know what was going on with our money in November, and so this $671 helped to cover things from November. I do have it accounted for. It's not in this budget, but I'm taking it out because this was November. So where I'm taking out groceries and things, I didn't do that in November. And so we're just needing to be a little more cautious with what we've got going on. So this is groceries, eating out, extra fuel, and then we had some miscellaneous expenses come out also. So that's what this is. But it's still fine because we're still going to have a cushion between our two accounts of $330 plus. So the next worksheet, and this is what I love about the Budget Mom, is the next worksheet is cash envelopes. So this is where I get to say, I'm breaking down my cash envelope categories, the amounts, how much I need for each, and then I've got some money thoughts to write down there. So let's go ahead and get those written out again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these amounts. So what you see me doing here is I am just breaking down the amount I need into the actual number of bills that I'm going to get from the bank. And then this is my teller slip. So I'm just going to take these totals and put them here. And so what I'll do is tomorrow I will cut this out. I will take this and my debit card, grab a cash advance. I will hand her this. I will get this cash, and then we will get these filled up. Now, there's a few more things that I want to write down here because my husband and I are planning out what 2021 looks like. We've just kind of jotted some stuff down. So we're just going to start planning. And we have a couple of goals for 2021. And I'm still trying to flesh out what that looks like. Something that I want to do, and something that we want to do instead of just having our cush of $300, we want to have 1 month's bills in our checking account at all times. So we want to be a month ahead with our bills. So by the end of 2021, we want to be 1 month ahead. So what that may look like is having $1,500 in that account on top of our emergency fund. I have an arbitrary goal just to have that done so I can check it off. Another goal, we want to bulk up our emergency fund, right? So the Dave Ramsey, because that's what we follow, and look, this is going to be Dave Ramsey-ish. If I've learned anything in 2020, it's we need to have a little bit more of a cushion, even though we're trying to pay off debt. So we want to bulk up our emergency fund. And I actually had 2 goals for that. First was $1,000 by March. This is technically baby step number 1, to have $1,000 by March. And if you remember, if you recall, we've done that. So there was $127 in our emergency fund. So we just added $873. We got that back up to $1,000. So this one's already done. So how awesome is that? Now the other, remember, we want to have $4,000 in that. Just so when we're a month ahead and we have savings, we're going to have around $5,500 at our disposal as we need it. If something comes up, either with his job or my job, then we'll have it. We want to do this by June. We want to have that emergency fund of $4,000 just funded. Now, $4,000 is pretty arbitrary. That's just a number that we feel comfortable with, given our new cost of living, where we're at. So we just feel really comfortable with that. Now, could I pay off a debt with that? Probably. I mean, I could. It's important that we have that. If any health issues come up or anything happens, then we have that money there. Now, something else that we're going to do a money challenge. And we're actually going to do a money challenge for the next 3 years. And we're going to end it December 2023. And we're going to do the $1, $5, and $10 challenge. So that just means any 1s, 5s, or 10s that were handed, we're going to put that up in a jar somewhere in an account so that we can save for a vacation for our 15th wedding anniversary, and which happens in July of 2024. So we want to have that money saved up by then. We're also doing a second challenge, and we're doing a $50 challenge. And that has no start date, that has no end date. It's just going to be a sinking fund to get to a goal of $5,000. So this challenge money will all go toward vacation. This is just paycheck 1. Paycheck 2 is going to be a lot more simple, because paycheck 2 is basically 4 items. All right, so this last paycheck, these are all January bills. Now, our rent here is $16.23. You can tell I'm putting $16.42, and then I have $23 from the first paycheck of the month that's going into the bill account. I'm just trying to pad that account a little bit, because I know our first paycheck in January is going to be a little small. So I'm having to just be really careful with making sure that we have money to cover the bills in January. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is our December budget. It looks a little crazy. I can't wait to get into this new way of budgeting and getting stuff done and taken care of. You know, this is our first month back to actually budgeting, and Lord, about a year of writing down budgets using cash. You know, 2020 was crazy for everyone. We did not come out unscathed. We had a lot happening, but we are ready to focus, get back into it, and make sure we're making smart decisions with our finances, especially as I start working. We've got a ton of debt to pay off, and I'll cover that at the beginning of the year. You know, we've got a lot that we want to do in 2021 and before 2024. In order to meet these goals, meet some debt payoff goals that we have, we really got to tighten down the hatches. So I'm going to end with a question of the day. And that's something I want us to explore together. What does it look like? Kind of defeating some of the challenges that we face with our budgeting. It's December 9th, and we've already run into a few kind of bumps in our December budget. So my question of the day is, what's your biggest budget challenge? What's the thing that is hardest for you to overcome in your budgeting process? Go ahead, leave a comment below. Let me know what that is. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and like this video and touch that notification bell to stay up to date for when I post new videos. Bye guys. Have a great week.